Okay, in a few words, I want to go a little bit further than Martin told us today about trying to put all the VLEs together, but all the Moodle VLEs. And in my point of view, it's too, we have to take the other VLEs into account. Otherwise, that will be a little bit problematic. Do I have to show Okay. Okay. So that's the problem we're trying to cope. We why that's like this. A lot of technology. This. Why do we think about that? Because that's the way about the starting point of our project. The main goal the main problem we're trying to cope was the following. 3 years ago at the University of Geneva, we have two LMS. I think that's over here. You tell VLEs. Okay. So we have two VLEs. One we started in 2004, which is called the Chaos, but it's changed. You know, that's a Belgium systems and the Belgium together sometimes. So they change. So we had the Chaos, very easy to use with, you know, those upload systems, pretty easy to use. And then in 2005, also at the University of Geneva, following some pressure from faculties, we had also to install Moodle. So we have two different learning VLEs, the Chaos and Moodle, but also we have a multimedia server. And the main problem is that we have those two VLEs which cannot communicate any learning object together. So when I talk about learning object, I talk about two levels of the learning object. Simple learning object, resources in Moodle, PowerPoint, PDF, and so forth, and complex learning objects, a little bit more like activities, tests, forums, and so forth. So there were no connections between those two systems together. In addition to this problem, we have another problem because we are in Switzerland, and in Switzerland, you know, we have not only two systems, but you know, it depends where you come from. If you come from the German part, so you will use another VLEs, which is called Ulcc, which is a German-based VLEs and so forth. And in order to cope this problem, the GISC of Switzerland, which is called Switch, developed and put in place what we call a repository, in which all the teachers could put their learning material, their learning objects, into these repositories. But the problem for us that we didn't have the link between our VLEs and Switch collection, which is called. So, big problem. No connection between all those tools together. So the goal is and was to develop this link between all the systems. To do so, we had and developed two main elements. The first element that we had is a repository, which played the bridge between all the installation. Or as a repository, we chose to work with Fedora Commons. Why? For two main reasons. First of all, the way Fedora storing is digital, these learning objects is similar on the way we would like to store our learning object. It means that we would like to store the metadata and or the contents. So you have two ways, you can use two ways to store the data. So just note that as a metadata, we are using IEEE learning object metadata. I don't know if, yeah, that's Switch asked us to use this metadata. So that was the first reason. The second reason is that the Switch collection, so the national repositories is using the same systems. So for us, a little bit lazy, it would be more easy to connect both instances together. And then via a functionality mechanism, which is called harvesting, then the switch collection once a day, every night at 3 o'clock, check all the new learning objects that are put in our repositories. And if there is some new, they take the metadata. We keep the content. That's the way it is. Yeah, that's the first element that we had. The second element that we had to have was the modules, which make the communication between our two LMS, VLEs, and the Fedora system. So to do so, we developed the development was made on two consecutive phases. The first development was make all the functionalities in order to make the communication between simple objects, between Moodle, the chaos, and the system. And in the second phase, what we used, we had to work with more complex learning objects. So which type of solution did we choose? We chose to do that if the complex learning object is a quiz, a test, so we encode the learning object into an IMS QTI format. That's the first. And if it's not the case, if it's another learning object, or if it's one quiz plus more other learning objects, we encode all the data into an IMS content package. Okay? Now let's talk about, because there is already some solutions about that, which are using already IMS content package and so forth. But one of the main contributions of our work is that when the teacher communicates his learning object from the chaos to Moodle, then he will be able to reuse it. So he doesn't have, we don't play with IMS player. What we do is when we take the content, we store the content within the system, so the teacher can reuse it. Okay, I will give you a quick example about how it works. So suppose that you are in Camilo next the chaos, and suppose that you want to encode a test composed by a matrix, ordering, and multiple choice. So the teacher will ask the system to export the test, then Camilo will put it and encode it in an IMS content, then store the IMS into the Fedora lore system, and then he will go to Moodle, and in Moodle, he will firstly import the content, and after it, if the questions is compatible with Moodle, he will take it and store it into the system. If it's not the case, he will forget it. That's how it works. Another example with, suppose that right now you want to communicate a link file and glossary from Moodle to Camilo. Same thing, the system will store into an IMS content package all the three learning objects. Then the objects will go to our Fedora lore system. Then the user will import the IMS content package, and if the learning object is compatible, he will keep it. If it's not, he will not take it into account. So that's how it works. I have plenty of time.
Perfect. Yeah.
Oh, so I can make a demo or something like that. Let's make a demo.
12 minutes until the end of the session, so there should be plenty of time.
Okay, so that's Moodle 2, and that's Camilo 2. That's the number are the same, the system are different. Now, oops, I have to just to connect. So let's suppose you have your course. In this course, you have the assessment, the test.
Okay, and in this test, if you want to see, this test is composed by 3 questions. Sometimes I mix the type of questions in Camilo and in Moodle. That's right, I always need to. Yeah, that's an essay, a matching, and finally, how you call it? Multiple choice. Okay? So you have, I create that in Camilo, then I want to export it to Moodle. So what do? I go to the repository, because on the bottom of this system there is a repository. That's the difference between Camilo 2 and Moodle 2. It's more, Camilo, it's more teacher-based, and Moodle, it's more course-based. Okay, so I just go to the Fedora law at our university. I click on it. That's all the learning objects that are stored in our repository. So now I want to export these learning objects. What do? I select the course which got the learning objects, the quiz. Then I select it, click on next. Then that's the metadata I have to fill, title, descriptions, and some other information about the licenses, something very national. The subject, it's the domain in which my learning object is, and then I click on the next button. Then the system summarizes my formula, and then okay, then you will, oops. Okay, it will send it into the repository. So now the object is in the repository. Now if I go to the Moodle 2 and I go to a course, so I will be able, so what we did, we didn't have the opportunity to use the two API they developed in the Moodle 2, so we developed a block for the import and export. So you click on the import button, so you choose the file. So we are using the same systems. As you can see, there is different types, and we have our repository. So we select our repository, and in this repository we have all the learning objects that has been stored. We select the repository we want to take. We select it, and then we import the learning object. Okay, it's Ulcc. Okay, it summarizes the import, and if I go back to the course, I see the questions, and if I turn on, and that's as I said before, that's the main contribution. That now the teacher will be able to go will be able to go to the test, and I don't want to preview, I want to show you the questions. And so So now, if in the settings, it edit edit quiz. Yeah, that's over here. Yeah, and now if you go, you see the three questions, and if you want to add the questions, change the questions, you can do it. So it is, and you can do that from Camilo to Moodle and from Moodle to Camilo. So I could do the other, but I hope you trust me. So just a quick word about what we will do next. Two, I think, easy part will be easy, not so. That's the upgrade of Moodle to Moodle 2. We plan to do that by next year. Next year, not this year. We are not yet. That's the first thing we will do. We will connect some other learning tools, such as our multimedia server and also the ePortfolio Mahara. We think that could be pretty important for the students. And finally, we think the more tricky, the more hard part is to promote the open education culture. So until now, all the development has been made for the teacher if they want to transfer their course from one system to the other, but we also make the development in order to be the contents to be more shareable by other teachers. And by taking some research into account and by making we use the same thing, and by making some studies with our teachers, we found out that there is several fears with the OER, the open education stuff, and some of them are all about the copyright issues. They are a little bit afraid about the lack of time, financial, and the trust, and also the one of the teachers said the novelty effect. It means that if I put my course open, and then what about the next year? Do the students will stay, will come, and all those stuff? So some of the solutions that we thought was to put some support, a lot of support, inform the teachers about all the copyright issues and the Creative Commons, because a lot of teachers are not aware about all this Creative Commons stuff. Also putting some quality into the criteria for those, and some recognition by the institution. So the institution has to recognize the work that has been done by the teachers. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Last thing about to obtain these modules, normally they are on the repository of Moodle, but I can tell you that they are making review right now. So that's pretty interesting. So they are making review, and we hope that before this summer we will have this available on the Moodle website.
Thank you ever so much. We're towards the end of the session. We've got a few minutes for questions. Whether we'd like to say thanks again. Any comments or questions? I could start, if you don't mind. It's not a death question. Why do you have three systems? The obvious question would be, why not focus on just Moodle or just Camilo? Why do you need three LMS?
Okay, we have two. For two main reasons. First of all, it's the faculties in our university are quite strong, and they have a lot of power. So at the beginning, we only had the chaos, which was quite easy to use and so forth. So we put it on 2004, and by the end of the year, a faculty which was very powerful asked for a second one.
Yeah.
So that was, yeah.
Well, I think it justifies a not unusual actually for organisations software systems running alongside each other, but whether or not that's efficient or effective or sustainable in the long term. Do you imagine that this will continue, or will somebody one day say, look, for the sake of simplicity, let's jump to one product?
That's our dream.
Yeah.
Our dream is to have only one system because you know that's a lot of work to take into account, and we think that in an administrative point of view, it's more easy to work with Moodle, which is well used, and where you have a bug in less than 1 day, yet everything is all right. With such system like the chaos, the community is too small, and you have to make more. You have to be more active. So that's it demands more staff.
Do you have any versioning control in your Fedora repository so that when you get into sharing those items, the person knows which version they're currently using,
Yes.
the version that's in there?
Yes, we have that. Yeah, Fedora has that.
It's interesting you picked up the quiz there as an example, because those of us who have the pleasure of using the quiz module in Moodle appreciate it. We were updating folks on that this morning. Certainly can be a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Convoluted, complicated, and I think it needs the University of Sussex to simplify it, shall we say. I don't know if you've actually looked at the quiz, have you got your
We've looked at it, it's a project that we know has
I'll look forward to you guys sorting that one out. But I mean, it's, yes. It's kind of so convoluted and complicated, and there's so many options. But my point being that even if we can't and don't need to perhaps cope with your scenario, if there are tools out there that can help us create quiz questions simply, perhaps packaging them up into an IMS format that we can then import
Yeah.
from Moodle, could well be useful for all Moodle users.
Yeah, I think so.
Until that quiz tool is sorted, but who knows? 2.1 it might be perfect and easy to use. Is there any other last minutes